It's like post-classical, avant-future modern guard. You probably haven't heard of it.
What's up, Kenneth?
Well, I don't know. Isn't there anything you guys want to talk about first?
Well, I am watching The Wire again for the third time.
Not really. Is something wrong?
I just had the most frustrating session. It was awful.
You were full of awe?
Yeah. This guy, Julian, he was just so pleased with himself. It was like he came in just to show me how great his paper was.
Do you want to talk about it?
Yes.
You always help me when I'm feeling stuck.
So let me help you when you feel you suck. 'Cause you're amazing. And when you start to doubt it, do you maybe want to talk about it?
Okay, I can tell that this paper is about Dracula. Now, I know you don't have the assignment with you, but can you recall how your professor defined analysis?
It's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? We simply write a 3 to 5 page analysis of Bram Stoker's Dracula, and I've clearly fulfilled that.
Now, that's great that you're happy with what you've written, but is there anything you've thought about prioritizing? Maybe a certain section we can look at just a bit more closely.
Right. No. Every aspect of my essay is carefully crafted, equally important, and entirely perfect. Don't you agree?
Well, I mean, Julian, I don't mean to sound rude or anything. I mean, that's the last thing that I want, but what exactly are you analyzing in your paper? I mean, can you show me your thesis?
Bram Stoker's Dracula is a work of genius in its interrogative approach to the question of what it means to be human.
Okay. Now, if Dracula is about what it means to be human, then how exactly does the sentence, Dracula is the quintessential connotative and denotative definition of the vampire, connect to that thesis?
It speaks for itself.
Well, now I can tell you what it means to me. I want to know if you're talking about a sparkle in the sun kind of vampire from Twilight, or a vaporize in the sun kind of vampire from True Blood.
Twilight? True Blood? This is Bram Stoker's Dracula? The ur-vampire, if you will. Dr. Reinhardt has the literary expertise to avoid such popular culture allusions.
Well, Julian, I suppose you have all the expertise that you need. I guess all I can say is good luck.
Thank you.
Ouch.
I know. I tried and asked him about his paper, and all he wanted to do was talk about how great it already was. I mean, I don't think he answered even a single question I asked him.
No doubt it can be difficult dealing with a writer who's really into their own ideas.
I know. I kept asking leading questions. He was just too confident.
Confidence. I was just reading about this study done by these folks at City Tech in New York who said that overconfident students think they know more than they really do. Sometimes they'll underestimate how much work it'll take to actually succeed in a class, and they found that overconfidence also means that a student might not know how to use feedback from others.
What she's saying is that this cat Julian fancies himself a modern-day William Wordsworth. He's experiencing his own, quote, spontaneous overflow of powerful feelings, end quote. That's why he's not interested in revising. Here. Mickey Harris says, quote, writing tutorials are highly individualized and tutors can explore a variety of strategies that will help that particular student. End quote.
I'm not sure I follow. I do see writers as people, not as interchangeable cogs. Like my personal minimalist tutoring hero Jeff Brooks says, the writer is the primary agent.
Nobody's saying the minimalist approach is wrong, Kenneth, but I think it's important to remember that there are many different ways to approach the issue.
Methodologies, plural.
But I'm a minimalist tutor. I would never want to appropriate a writer's work.
Think of it this way. You could be all blah and formulaic, like Law and Order. Or you can be exciting and new, like The Wire.
The Wire can't be an example for everything, Jeff. You want to be more like Shamoon and Burns, who say that if we really want to help writers, sometimes we have to be directive and assert our knowledge of the topic.
Like Prop Joe said, look the part, be the part.
So directive tutoring honors our expertise as writers and writing tutors, so we can help writers become better writers by practicing the strategies of professional writers when writing.
Right. If you'd just been more assertive in your tutorial with Julian, you could have shown him that only praising the work like Dracula isn't enough for a paper in a college English class.
Schmoon and Burns just want tutors to individualize our approaches based on the cognitive, social, and rhetorical needs of writers at all stages of the process.
Gee, guys, that is helpful. If I ever work with an overconfident writer again, and leading questions are leading him nowhere, I'll try some more directive strategies and hopefully help him see that there's work here to do, and I'm here to help him do that work. Gosh, I love our break room chats. Thanks, guys.
Welcome to the Writing Center. How can I help you?
Good evening. I require an appointment to discuss my work, post haste.
All right.
Hey, Julian!
Oh, good evening.
I want to express my interest in it, and also I think we'll get back to you.
Are you the only tutor available currently?
Good to see you too, Julian. Hey, Alex, can you set up an appointment for us right away? All right, thanks. Right this way, have a seat. So what did Dr. Reiner have to say about your Dracula paper?
Well, apparently she didn't share my assessment of the work.
She didn't agree that Stoker's a genius?
She said his genius is not a relevant element of my thesis because as a belief it is not an arguable point.
Does that make sense to you?
I can't really see anyone disagreeing with that claim. Stoker is a genius after all.
Okay. You know, Julian, based on my experience working with dozens of writers on essays that analyze literature, and having written a few myself, I find the most compelling essays, and the ones that literature professors like the most, are the ones that make a specific interpretive claim about the text and provide lots of textual evidence to support that claim.
Suppose I see your point. Dr. Reinhardt did suggest something similar in her lengthy comments on my Dracula piece, that I should provide examples from the text, which I took to mean that I quote directly the passages that exemplify my assertions. So, for my next paper, I must write another analysis, this time on Oscar Wilde's brilliant novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray. Now, I read my current draft to my mother last evening, and when I did, she was so profuse in her accolades for my honeyed words of sweetness and light, she nearly wept with pride. I have come here tonight to confirm that my mother's reverence is well placed. However, after noting that you and Dr. Reinhardt seem to share similar expectations for literary analyses, I am suddenly struck with a mild but palpable sense of doom that she might once again accuse me of not making the type of interpretive claim valued by literary scholars. Please listen as I read to you the thesis I was so moved to craft, and tell me my heretofore unprecedented pangs of doubt are unfounded. Oscar Wilde's aesthetic genius is apparent in his depiction of the eponymous character in his Gothic novel, The Picture of Dorian Gray. What do you think?
Once again, your thesis does sound like you will be focusing on the author's aesthetic genius and not necessarily on your interpretation of the text.
I see. Perhaps you're right. Suppose I were to take your advice. How might one make a claim like mine more about interpreting Wilde's novel?
All right, let's start with what you already have and build on your obvious passion for this text. As you read, 2 words in your thesis stood out to me: aesthetic and Gothic. I'm interested in how they might connect more to the novel. How does Wilde, through his depiction of Dorian Gray, comments on aestheticism and the Gothic?
I find that they are intimately connected, though not always obvious. And I find that to be a delightful question for discussion. In fact, in one of my favorite scenes,
I feel like I have learned so much from you. So can I help you see your work anew? 'Cause you're amazing. And when you start to doubt it, do you maybe want to talk about it.